Hi, friends, and welcome back to Roots and Roars. I'm Veronica. Today's episode is something we all need, whether we admit it or not: community. And I don't mean the kind that shows up once or twice a year. I mean the kind that sees you, the kind that shows up in the messy, beautiful, unbearable moments. The kind that doesn't ask you to shrink, hide your grief, or put on a brave face. The kind that becomes a support squad, sometimes literally. So I have my people. I've had my people that have been in my corner pretty much since day one. And I have my people that have been in my corner for over 20 years now. But today I'm going to talk about a couple of different areas that I was surprised to find my support squad from. When I started working at Garden Hills, I didn't expect to find anything beyond a learning opportunity. I was there to gain experience, finish my schooling, and stay focused on Gavin's needs at home. But something unexpected happened. In just a few short months, the staff became part of my journey. Not just coworkers or mentors, but friends. People. People who asked how Gavin was. People who noticed when I was quieter than usual. People who didn't tiptoe around my grief. They leaned in. And on NPS Awareness Day, they did something I'll never forget. They showed up wearing shirts that said Support Squad for me, for Gavin, for our family. I hadn't even known most of them that long. But in that moment, I realized this is what community looks like. It's not about how long you've known someone. It's about how deeply they show up when it counts. Now I want to be honest about something. It's hard to say. Building community within the NPS world is beautiful and also incredibly painful because we know the reality. We know that getting close means grieving their child just like we grieve ours. We know the odds. We see the signs. We feel it in our bodies when another family posts that their time is coming or that their child is gone. So we have become guarded, protective, cautious about expanding that circle. Not because we don't care, but because we care too much. Letting people in means losing them eventually. And that takes a toll on your soul. Especially when watching parents bury their babies, because that's not something that should ever have to be done. But at the same time, who else really understands what it means to live this life in between hope and heartbreak? No one. And it's hard. But there's another community that has also helped shape me. And that's the one that raised me. The people from my childhood, the ones I grew up beside in Muhammad. They were the ones where we collected pop tabs in elementary school to represent every life lost in the Holocaust. A simple, profound lesson that planted something deep inside me. And I am blessed for those two teachers that instilled that in us. The understanding that every life matters and that remembrance is sacred. And in my junior year of high school, we were hit hard again. We lost classmates. Too many. Way too many. And far too soon. And just like that, our innocence was gone. Grief entered our world again. Not a concept, but as a reality. We had to learn what it meant to mourn together, to show up for each other, to stand in gymnasiums and funeral homes, trying to understand a world where our classmates wouldn't be anymore. We saw their parents, grieving, yet strong, showing up at school events and speaking at memorials, being there for us even as their hearts broke. Looking back now, maybe God was preparing me for the road I'd walk. No one should ever have to bury a child. But that community, the one that raised me, showed me how to hold space for grief with grace. How to stay even when it hurts. How to hold each other up when none of us could stand alone. There's a saying I love, and it's a song. You can't make old friends. And it's true, old friends, the ones who know your roots, they're irreplaceable. But you can find new ones who feel like they are always meant to be in your story. Some people are like leaves, they're here for a season. Others are like branches, they hold you up until the wind gets strong. Medea had that one right. But then there are the roots, the people who go deep, who anchor me, who grow with me. And they can do the same for you. Tyler Perry once said, some people are like leaves on a tree. They're only there to take what they need, but the roots, you can't see them because they're down beneath the surface, holding you up whether the tree is in bloom or is bare. I've learned to cherish those roots, even if I didn't recognize them at first. Grief is loud, but the community can be louder. Grief says you're alone in this, but community shows up and says, not on my watch. And when you're building your own community as a grieving mom, an educator, a grandma, a friend, remember this. You don't have to carry the heavy things alone. You were never meant to. Again, something I'm trying to learn. So thank you for being part of my community here on Roots and Roars. In the next episode, I'll be talking about speaking your story in spaces where it doesn't always fit and why your truth still belongs. Until then, stay rooted, let your roar be heard, and keep building the community that knows how to hold the joy and the pain. Grief is loud, but community can be louder. So go ahead and hit that like, follow, and share button. Let's grow this community. Let's learn to use our voices, and let's be heard. Bye, everyone.